Hello all. Today we are going to work on LeetCode problem number 621, Task Scheduler. Let us first understand what the problem is all about. We are given with a character array, tasks. It represents tasks a CPU needs to do, where each letter represents a different task. So task is an array where each letter represents a different task. Tasks could be done in any order. Each task is done in 1 unit of time. So if A is executed, we call it 1 unit of time. For each unit of time, the CPU could complete either one task or just be idle. So when CPU picks up these tasks and starts executing them, it can either execute this task or it can stay idle. But there is a catch. There is a non-negative integer n. We are provided with this integer n that represents the cooldown period between two same tasks, which means if a task has to be executed after a task, then there has to be a cooldown period of 2, at least 2. The same letter in array, that is that there must be at least n units of time between any two same tasks. So the question asks us to return the least number of units of time that the CPU will take to finish all the given tasks. I hope you understood the problem. So from this example itself, we can see that the given value of n is 2, which means between two tasks of same type, there has to be 2 CPU cycles, at least 2 CPU cycles. So, which is the cooldown period as they say. So let us say that we pick a task for the very first time. Then right after that, it cannot be a task again. It has to be B, and then because cooldown period is at least 2, it has to stay idle here. It cannot be B as well because right after B cannot arrive. So after this cooldown period is over, we can pick up A again. Then we pick up B, and then again there has to be an idle period. Then finally in the end there will be A and then B. So if you count the total number of CPU cycles, it is going to be 8 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 8 is going to be answer. Let us take another example. In this case, what we have done is the idle time, the number of CPU cycles for cooldown period, we have put it as 0, which means A can appear right after A. There doesn't need to be any cooldown period, which means the whole length of the task array can be our answer directly. It can be present in any combination and that would be fine. So A could come right after A and B could come right after B. Or you could have A and then B and then A and then B and then A and then B. In any case, the number of CPU cycles, the minimum number of CPU cycles required is going to be 6. Let's take another example. So in this case, this is the given array and the value of n is given as 2, which means between two tasks of the same type, there has to be at least 2 CPU cycles. So what we have answered here is, let us take A and then there will be 2 cooldown period. So 2 CPU cycles in between, and then another A, then 2 cycles, then another A, and then 2 cycles. So these cooldown period cycles could be filled in by B, C, D, E, F, G. But even after that, you see there are 4 cycles that are still left, which are going to be idle. So our answer is going to be the length of this array plus 4, which is the count of these cooldown cycles or idle cycles. The answer is going to be 16. So I hope you have understood the question with the help of all of these examples. Let us see how we are going to do this question in practice. So this is the array that we are given with, and n over here is given as 2. So to solve this question, what we essentially need is going to be the frequency of all of these tasks. We actually don't care what the name of the task is. All we care about is that A is different from B and B is different from C. And as long as we have the quantity of these different tasks, we can solve this question. So in this case, what is the quantity of A tasks? It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'll write 6 here. What about B? It is 3. And then what about C? It is 3 again. So from the frequency list, we can see that one task is going to take 6 CPU cycles at least. Another one is going to take 3 CPU cycles, and then the last one will take 3 CPU cycles. Now, it is something that we can understand. If n is equal to 2, we should first sort this list in decreasing order, and then let us pick up the very first number that will come from there, and to represent it in visual terms, it is going to look like this. So we'll have A, and then we need to have at least two CPU cycles between each consecutive task of A. So I'll put 2 empty spaces which represent at least the least number of CPU cycles in between them, the cooldown period, and then another A, then 2, then another A, then 2, then another A, then 2, and then another A, and then finally more 2, and then A. So see, the number of A's here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And what about the number of spaces that we have left? It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Or you could say the number of A's present here, that is 6, minus 1. Why minus 1? Because we only care about the number that is in between these A. If we did not have this minus 1, then we would probably be considering 2 more spaces here, which is not the case. So 6 minus 1, and that would be multiplied by n, that is 2. So it is 10. So we have at least 10 spaces between each consecutive A. That we know for sure. Now the question remains, we need to find out the number of idle cycles, the total number of idle cycles in the minimum case, so that all of these tasks can be executed, including considering the cooling down period as well. So now we are left with B, 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 C, C, C. So I can put B here, then another B here, then the next one here. What about C's? I can put one C here, another C here, and then the next C here. We are still left with 4 spaces, these 4 extra spaces. And that is the reason our answer is going to be 6 plus 3 plus 3, that is 12, plus 4 spaces, and that is 16. So how we are going to solve this question in terms of code? What is going to be our algorithm? First of all, we calculate the frequencies of all of these tasks so that we get this list of numbers. So it is going to be 6, 3, or 3 in this case. Then, so first one is going to be counting frequency. Then the second step is going to be sorting it in decreasing order. So sort in decreasing order. So this becomes 6 3 3. Let me quickly zoom it out so that we have more space here. Once we have sorted this array, then the next task would be to run a for loop on this, run a loop on this list that we have sorted. And other than that, right before the loop, actually, we are going to initialize the number of empty or the minimum number of idle spaces that we have to fill in. So let us call it idle spaces, and that number is going to be the maximum frequency. So maximum frequency would be the first of these sorted numbers. So I'll call it max frequency minus 1, that I've already explained, and that will be multiplied by n. So now we have our idle spaces here. Then we run this loop, and in the loop, in every step, we are going to decrease the number of idle spaces available. The number of idle spaces available will be decreased by the amount of or the frequency of these characters that would come in the each iteration of the loop. So for example, we start with total number of idle spaces here as 10, right? So initially it was 10. Then after that, and given that we have already filled in a here, this is assumed. So after filling in, the only remaining idle spaces, we are talking about them. So what we can fill in there, we can fill in either B or C. So first we consider the bigger number. So in this case, it so happens that the frequency count of both B and C is same. So we could consider any one of them. So from 10, first of all, we are going to decrease the frequency count of 3, B, so that the figure comes as 7. And then in the next iteration of the loop, we are going to decrease the frequency count of C, and that will come as 7 minus 3, that will be 4. And then given that we would have counted all the characters available here, all the frequencies of these characters here, then the only thing remaining would be to return idle spaces plus task length. So that is your complete algorithm. There are a few corner cases that we can think about when we are actually implementing it. So let us go to the code and start implementing the question. As we discussed earlier in the algorithm section, we'll start the solution with a frequency map. So I'll create a frequency map of all the tasks here, and for that I'll loop through all the tasks. Now I'll initialize frequency map, and the key is going to be tasks I, and in case if it is not defined already, it will be 0. And now we'll increase it by 1. So at the end of this loop, we'll know for each character how many times does it appear in the array. Now let us take the values out of it and sort them. So sorted values would be object.values frequency map, just call it values, and then values dot sort them by decreasing order, so b minus a. Now the values array contains the frequency of all tasks in decreasing order. Then let us also calculate the required idle space, and that will be for the maximum frequency task. So let idle spaces equal to sorted values 0. So this contains the task with highest frequency -1, and that will be multiplied by n. I gave the reason why we are doing -1 here in the algorithm section. Now let us run a for loop for all the values, all of these values. So let I is equal to 0, I minus I should be less than values dot length I plus plus. That would be values here. Now inside the for loop, we are incrementally going to decrease idle spaces that are available by filling in values from items of less frequency than the highest one. So actually this had to be 1 here because 0 is already taken care of in the very first step itself. So now we'll start with the tasks which have less frequency as compared to the highest one. So idle spaces, and I'll decrease that amount. I'm going to decrease that amount. So yeah, so this is something to understand. This is going to be minimum of values of I and values 0 of 0 minus 1. So I think you would think that it should have been values I only. So why did we include values 0 minus 1? That is because values 0 minus 1 represents the frequency of the character or the task that appears with the highest frequency, right? The maximum frequency value. And -1 because from the initial introduction section I told you that there have to be if there are 5 tasks, let's say, then there will be 5 minus 1 gaps between them. So in case if there is another task which has the same amount of same frequency as the highest one, then this will exceed values 0 minus 1. So we only need to consider the one which is minimum of the two. So this is just to take care of that corner case where where there would be multiple tasks with the same amount of highest frequency. I hope you understood this. So at the end of this loop, yeah, so there is just one more case that we should consider here. So idle spaces should always be greater than 0. So in case if because of this calculation here, if the number of idle spaces goes beyond 0, if it goes into negative, then this loop will stop. At the end of the loop, we are going to return the value, and that will be math.max between idle spaces. Let's say that if it has gone beyond 0, so we'll take 0 out of the 2, and plus tasks.length. So that should give us our answer. Let us see if this is working or not. There is some error, it seems. Sorted. Oh, I was thinking in terms of sorted value, that's why. So it had to be values only. Another error, idle space. Oh, that is line number 21. Spaces. Yeah, that is our answer, and let us submit it now. This seems to be working fine. Before I finish my video, I wanted to explain this peculiar case. I've already explained this part of the code that we have written together. So let us see this example. We are given with a list of tasks here. A appears with a frequency of 6. Rest of the tasks appear with a frequency of 3. And the value of n is going to be 2 here. So according to the code written here, you can see, first of all, we have sorted these values in decreasing order. So that would mean this is going to be 6. So this is going to be 6, 3, 3, 3, 3. Then after that, we have calculated the number of idle spaces, and that value is going to be 6 minus 1, that is 5, multiplied by 2. So 10. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 10 idle spaces here. Now the thing to understand here is that this number of idle spaces is actually the minimum number between two consecutive tasks of the same type. There have to be at least two CPU cycles. There could be more. Nobody is stopping from having more. So with this information, let us start filling in the rest of the tasks. So when we start this for loop, we start it from I is equal to 1. So that means I would be 1 here. So BBB is 3, then CCC is 3, and then D, and then E. So idle spaces gets decreased every time by this amount. So let us fill in here. First of all, it is going to be B. So let me fill B. B, B. Then it is going to be C. C, C, C. Now we are left with 4 more spaces here. So how can we deal with the rest of the elements which are there? So what we could do is we could start filling in from this side. So D, D, and then the next D could be placed here. Then we have E, E, E. So I can place it like this. E, E, and then the next E could be placed here. So how many idle spaces that you see which are left? The number is going to be 0. That is the reason from this figure the number of idle spaces left would come as 0. So we include 0 in the task length, and the task length over here is going to be 18. So 18 will be our answer for this question. I hope you understand. With this, thanks a lot for watching this video. See you very soon.